After that conversation on the porch, I began visiting Grace more and more often. At first, carefully, as if afraid to cross the invisible line between her world and mine. But every time she greeted me the same way, with a gentle smile as if I were a welcome guest. Over time, I realized that this place, this house, and this woman had become a quiet haven for me, where I could take the weight of the streets off my shoulders and forget, if only for a moment, that I had grown up among hunger and dirt. She always cooked something delicious for me. Steamed vegetables, warm soup, fragrant pastries, things I had only ever seen in shop windows. We sat in her kitchen, with soft light falling from the window, and I caught myself thinking that these moments reminded me of a childhood I had almost lost. She didn't just feed me, she gave me back the feeling of home I had never truly had. We talked a lot. At first, I mostly listened, but over time I opened up. She told me about her past, and I was surprised at how similar our stories were. She too had grown up in an orphanage. Her parents drank, and one day social services simply took her away. She spoke of that day with a cold clarity, as if it still cut her heart open. She remembered the taste of childhood fear, when instead of a mother and father, there were only strange walls and strangers around. But unlike me, Grace decided she would never again let the past control her life. She grew up, studied, did everything to build a job and a future. She started her own marketing company, built a career. That's where she met her husband. They lived together for 15 years but never had children. "Career consumed us," she once said, lowering her eyes into her coffee cup. I saw her fingers tremble as she recalled it. Her voice was steady, but it carried the shadow of old pain. Her husband began to get sick often. She put her work aside to be near him, to help him back on his feet. But it was during those moments, when he was most vulnerable, that the truth surfaced. She found out he had been living a double life. There, with the other woman, he had a child. And in that moment, as she said it, I saw in her eyes not anger, not hatred, only a tired emptiness. "I couldn't stand between a father and his child," she explained, "because I myself never had a childhood. And I knew I had no right to take it away from someone else." She let him go quietly. No scenes, no shouting. And perhaps it was that quiet farewell that hurt her the most. After that conversation, Grace often offered me to stay with her. "It's safer here, warmer here, you'll have a future here," she said. But I couldn't. I couldn't leave Marcus. He was my brother, not by blood but in every other way. We lived in darkness together, and I had no right to abandon him just because I had found some light. So Grace and I only kept talking, and she helped us with money, sometimes with food, sometimes just with kind words that meant more to me than anything else. Life began to get better. We weren't starving the way we used to. We had food, a little money. Marcus even joked that we were now the rich men of the streets. And I began to believe that, maybe for the first time, we had a chance at a better life. But one morning everything was destroyed. We were still sleeping in our basement hideout when a sharp beam of light struck me right in the face. I jumped up, blinded. Marcus too leapt from under the blanket but didn't have time. The room was full of people with flashlights. Police. Social services. Their shadows blocked the exit like a wall. "Get up. You need to come with us." The voice was cold, emotionless. We froze. My heart was pounding as if it wanted to break out of my chest. I knew right away, someone had given us up. Someone told them where we were hiding. And now our world was collapsing. They took us to a new shelter. This place was nothing like the old one. There were high fences, cameras, guards. Escape was impossible. The walls pressed in like a cage, and freedom disappeared as if it had never existed. Psychologists began working with us. They said we were too closed off, that we trusted no one but each other. And for that very reason they claimed we had to be separated. "It's for the best," they explained. But their words felt like a sentence. They put Marcus and me in different rooms. We were only allowed to see each other under supervision. And every meeting was short, like a drop of water in the desert. I saw how he was losing his fire, how his eyes grew dim. He didn't laugh anymore. And I too was fading with each passing day. Life turned gray again. The walls pressed tighter, and even the sky, which had once been a symbol of freedom to me, now felt distant and cold. I felt myself sinking back into the same darkness I had once tried so hard to escape.